Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Three Questions with Andrew. I am excited that I'm joined today by Pedro Garcia from Gracias Madre in Los Angeles. Pedro, welcome.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Quick, would you like to just introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. My name is Pedro Garcia. I am born on Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, Mexico. I was raised part of my life in Spain. I'm 30 years old, and right now I'm a bar manager at Gracias Madre in Los Angeles. And yeah, this is what I do: drinks.
Absolutely. Gracias Madre has always been like a special place for me. It was one of our first accounts as Cut Above that really embraced and saw what could happen when you take non-alcoholic spirits seriously and care about the craft you put into cocktails. And so it's I never make a trip now to LA without going by and visiting or taking somebody there too. I enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right into it. So, our first question today is from your position in the hospitality, like on-premise sector. How have you seen the evolution occur for non-alcoholic options from maybe before, it wasn't a thing until right now, and it's pretty much you're behind the times if you don't have an option. So, just talk a little bit about how you've seen that change over time.
Yeah, definitely. Past this, I don't know, 5 to 8 years, it was like you said, it was like nothing. It wasn't something that people were looking for. Something with a drink, a mocktail, like we bartenders call it. They don't normally used to do something special for the customer. Now that things are doing like an evolution. Definitely people are looking more something unique, something that the process of the spirit or the drink is way. They give this like same same vibe as a alcoholic drink like margarita. Everyone wants to have a pretty cocktail that tastes, that smells, all of those things. Now they're looking for something that people a lot of times wants to take care of their body. They kind of want to be on the same page as people are drinking, so they normally want to look for things that are similar as a drink that has alcohol. um cut above. I've been introduced to cut above in since I got out to Gracias Madre, and I see a lot of people that like they get really excited because they think they're kind of like drinking a margarita, which in so people can understand, on Gracias Madre we use Carabao as we are mezcal and tequila spirit. Since Carabao it's based on the agave, we that helps us a lot because it's a agave restaurant. So
Right.
we normally always tell the customer that if you're not drinking, the first thing we recommend it's the cut above. This is a um like a substitution if we were drinking a margarita without alcohol, and they get excited because the flavor, the same base like lime, agave, the same thing is based on the drink, and people love it, and people are looking forward to combine more stuff with the same spirit, and people are asking like, oh, where can I get this? I want one for my house, and they want to, people wants to do more experiment more stuff with the spirit, and we can always combine carabao with other ingredients that we have in house because we do everything in house. So definitely people are looking for like to see more options on non-alcoholic drinks, because sometimes in a brunch you don't want to kind of like drink alcohol at 11 a.m. uh and people are like they want to drink something that has a lot of ingredients, and this as a dish, you're looking forward to see a dish that it's pretty, that it smells good, that has a nice presentation. And the mocktails now, they want, bartending and drinks are evolution, so they want to see the same thing in a drink. First sip is kind of like how everything explodes on your mouth, and you bring it to your nose, and then everything smells. Those all of those things, kind of like people are like looking to it in a drink.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. Kind of sharing how you've seen it sort of change, but also the reasons, right? Someone may want it, are as varied as that's right way people look and feel, right, coming in your place. And so I would say like people have their own right motivations for wanting to drink less or not wanting to drink. And sometimes it's, I'm participating in a month of not drinking. Sometimes it's my doctor told me, and sometimes it's whatever and everything in between in any duration. But places like yours that sort of deliver that to them, I always say it's a way to create this sense of delight and this sense of being an inclusive and accepting place. That it's not just, oh, you're not drinking, here's some soda and cranberry, something real basic. No, you're making a proper drink, right? And it's good, it's garnished and cared for in the same way. And so I think those places are important.
Mhm.
I kind of want to branch off of that for our second question, because you kind of touched on the consumer. But for those that watch this, that have bar programs or that are bartenders and thinking about what makes a successful non-alcoholic option on the menu. So the question to you is, what would you say are some of the components? And I think you touched on one of them, so I'm kind of steal one of your answers, which is right, using fresh ingredients, I think is really important. But what would you say as someone who runs the operations, are some of the key components that make a non-alcoholic option or a non-alcoholic program successful for a bar or restaurant?
Um, I'll say you're talking about like the basis of a ingredient of a drink.
Yeah, well, I would say I think about ingredients or how the staff talks about it, how it appears on menu, pricing. Like, what are some of the things you think that make your program so successful?
Well, definitely, citrusy is always a first option. People are always looking for lime, orange,
Mhm.
grapefruit, maybe pineapple. Those ingredients, you always are able to find them anywhere, and in big volumes. Lime, lemon, those are kind of like pyramid things that you're looking for. Um, Garnishes, it's pretty sustainable. Cutting a lime, dehydrate them, and put them as a garnish. Those little things that you can use to not waste, use the whole produce. Those things are pretty much the base in a drink. You can use for juicing, for garnishing, for uh, making a syrup out of the zest of a citrusy. Pineapple, has a lot of water, so you can use the plant on the top, the juice, the garnish. All of those ingredients, are pretty easy to manage, to cut, to have the whole fruit for anything, for any drink. And the part of the using organic ingredients, that normally the in these times, a lot of people are looking for something that it's organic. And well, Gracias Madre, it's whole organic restaurant. So people want to take care of their bodies. They want to know what they put in their bodies. And definitely, it makes you feel way better, not having to um ruin your temple, because your body's your temple. Whatever you inhale it, you get in your body. You'll start to feel way better. Your health is way better. um there is a lot of places that they put like um I forgot how to call it, but like for the insects to
Oh, the like the pesticides or
pesticides. So
Mhm.
it's kind of you know, on these times you don't know, what was the process behind that product. So,
Right.
take using in organic ingredients, you put that on the side, so you're not inhaling, all of those
Yeah.
bad things that even could probably come in some fruit that you didn't wash, or something like that. um
It's good. I
but
like that. I like that sorry I like that you're mentioning that. So one of the things I've noticed with non-alcoholic spirits compared to traditional spirits is the alcohol component, right? The ethanol in a cocktail can mask low quality ingredients. So maybe you use, like a very cheap, or it's an old lime juice, or you're maybe not even squeezing your own lime juice. Well, the alcohol component, right, of a traditional spirit can mask that and kind of cover it up. So it's okay, right? The drink still tastes okay. With non-alcoholic spirits, right, like the way Cut Above is, right, we're water based. So the other ingredients, they can't, if they're subpar or they're not as good, there's nothing to hide behind. And so we tell people when you make non-alcoholic cocktails, like the quality of everything else you put in there matters because everything's gonna appear. And so I really like you're the first one that kind of has talked about that, like thinking about the other ingredients when you make a non-alcoholic cocktail and treating them, with respect as you do, right, the traditional spirit or the non-alcoholic spirit. I think that's really important.
yeah, yeah, definitely. um and you know what, uh seeing it on a different perspective, as a investor on a restaurant, or an owner at a restaurant, the pricing of the mocktail, the more um unique ingredients that you can put in a mocktail, the more you can have the cost for the drink. It doesn't have to be just like three ingredients and just mix it. It has to have a good presentation. It involves everything: the glass, the garnishes, how fresh your ingredients are, what kind of ingredients, if you can use any like exotic fruits or something that you can kind of like make it, like wonderful, that people see a component on the drink, like, oh, this is the first time I see it on my mocktail, and it tastes really good. Definitely can always go all the way. The price can go all the way up as a cocktail, because people wants to see, the people pay for it if you have a good experience out of that drink.
Right.
And if you use uh, a non-spirit that is processed in a different way, for example, cut above is the first time I since I got to Gracias Madre, it's the first time I hear about, of a agave used with no alcohol. And the first time I tasted it, I'm like, this is unique. This is the first time I tasted something different. So it does impact on the customer, if you explain what kind of spirit you're using and how is it made. If you can each kind of like briefly tell them, it's made like this. This is why we do it. This is how why we use it. People are interested on knowing more about, the NA spirits,
Yeah.
and you can touch bases out of the drink that you're giving to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I mean, it is an amazing brand. The both of them, and I even tasted, we don't carry the whiskey
Right.
and the gin, but I did taste the two of them, and I did experiment with them, like,
Oh, cool.
the what's this cocktail called, like a sour, like a, like a whiskey sour, like
Right.
it has whiskey, it has we're a vegan restaurant, but we use a vegan fee foam to make foam out of the drink. So we made a we substitute the whiskey for the cut above
Huh?
whiskey, and it was amazing. I'm like, it is like you were drinking a whiskey sour. And I kind of like did taste test with some customers, and they were amazed. They were like, "Oh, this is amazing! You should put it on the menu." But unfortunately, we're agave restaurant,
Yeah.
so I can break that originality of the restaurant. But yeah, I mean, in other restaurants that you can use all kind of spirits, that's pretty good to use. And you can add more stuff to your menu. You have more options. A lot of people don't want to drink every day, so they do. Uh, we sell a lot of NA spirits. In general, it's just not only that one, but we have a lot of options for customers. And also, it won't be the same price as if you're um, using a liquor, or a spirit that does have liquor. Normally, an NA spirit has it's a little bit cheaper, since it doesn't have that alcohol. And for big restaurants, it's pretty easy to storage. You don't have to fridge. Some spirit. I've been seeing some of them that once you open it, you do have to fridge them, because since it doesn't have that percentage of alcohol, you do have to freeze it, or maybe just have it in the fridge so it can last longer. 'Cause it has those organic and ingredients that don't contain alcohol, so it would go to waste. Obviously, you have to know your brand, and kind of like know how to not have it for waste.
Right.
But definitely, a lot of people are asking for NA spirits.
Yeah.
um,
And I
and
think too, I think also, like, as they ask for it, what I've seen now is, you kind of had, right, mocktails traditionally being, maybe citrus, right, a sweetener, and then maybe, some bubbles or effervescence, right, and that was kind of, you could build a lot of things off of that.
Mhm.
But to your point, there wasn't really the ability to bring in the flavors of traditional spirits. And then also, like you say, that's what I think, right, margarita's number one selling cocktails, because you can take the base build of that cocktail, and if guava's in season, right, you make a guava margarita, right? If it's a mango season, you make a mango. I can say, right, the drink works year round, and you can always bring in like a fresh twist on it.
Yeah.
And then when customers, I think, see that, like, hey, this has a fresh ingredient, and I know this place is known for high quality sourcing of everything from the kitchen to the bar. There is, I think, how you said it, the cocktail contributes to their experience when they're with you. And so if the experience of that cocktail matches the goal of that place, right, being vegan, being organic, high quality ingredients, good service, it just blends in, and they leave right happy. It wasn't this, oh, everything else was great, but their mocktail was just a kind of an thing. Like, no, it's just as good as everything else. And I think for those that listen to this, as an example of a place that does it right, is I always go back and talk about your place. And the second thing I'll say is that I see when priced right, and I always tell people, like, if your lowest price cocktail, is $14, your non-alcoholic cocktail shouldn't be more than $2 less than that, or give or take, because people pay, right, for the experience, or feeling included, feeling like they're seen, and there's something there for them that somebody cared to put on the menu. And so it doesn't take away from alcohol sales, right? It's additional sales that you wouldn't have realized. And when places see that and do the right things like you're talking about, it's a win-win, right? The customer feels good, right? They're getting the experience that they know they should be getting from your place. The business is winning because, right, there is right margins built into it that are healthy for a bar program. And so it's good to see when it kind of all comes together like that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so the third question, we're going to switch it around and just make it a little more lighthearted here. This is a grab bag for you, which you'd like to share with us, something that just helps us to get to know you a little bit better. So it can be a hidden talent, a favorite karaoke song, a weird food combination. It's just something that allows us to get to know Pedro a little bit better.
Sure. Well, what could I say about myself? Hidden talent. I don't think I have like a specific hidden talent. I like to do a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of sports in my life. Now I don't give my time to do a sport. I do go to the gym, but like like a sport that you can move a lot. I used to play tennis a lot. It's one of my favorite sports. When I used to go to school, I had a tennis place in the same place as my school. And I met a lot of people that love, they if you are surrounded by the same the people that like the same sport, you kind of like know more about the sports. You kind of like get more you go more into the sport. Tennis it was one of my um I think it released me of my every time I was, I was angry. I needed to, be away from humanity. I want to be by myself. I think that's one of the sports that kind of like gives you that peace because you move your whole body.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
all your frustration goes in every time you hit the ball with the racket.
yeah,
Definitely that has helped me a lot when I used to be younger. uh and that is, obviously you do more, you move your whole body. You're not concentrating one single muscle. But this has been really helpful for my health, mentally, physically. And yeah, like I said, I met a lot of people, a lot of my good friends. I met them playing tennis. One of my best friends is he doesn't play tennis anymore, but we used to get along every single day to go play tennis once in a while. I mean, like at least 5 days a week. And it was, I mean, it
yeah.
was like a routine. He calls you, I call you, and hey, let's go play tennis because it is time. It's neat.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's important. I would say, like anyone in the hospitality industry, you have to have a healthy stress reliever, right? 'Cause it's a demanding profession. Um, you have to be on, right? You can be grumpy at work. There's definitely grumpy bartenders, but
Yeah,
I think you have to be on, and then to find a way to, like you say, take care of yourself. It's a whole body exercise, like you mentioned. And again, everyone finding something, and so yours was tennis. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Well,
yeah.
that's it, right? 3 questions, and so thank you for your insights and sharing. I always learn a little bit more, or a way to kind of say something a little bit different. I definitely got that out of our conversation. Again, I thank you for your support of us. Anyone who's watching this who's in LA, hasn't been to Gracias Madre, go visit Pedro and the team. If it's been a while since you've been, go back and visit. And then yeah, we'll wrap it up there. We're all done. Thanks again, Pedro, for your time.
Thank you, Andrew, for your invitation. It was a pleasure. And we'll always, you have your house here in LA on Gracias Madre. So
Love
yeah,
it.
and all the people that want to come, they're more than welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Pedro.